Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Magnetic Goddess. I'm your host, The Magnetic Goddess, Amy Lee Westervelt, and today I have a fabulous guest. Sam Altieri is joining us. She is a business and confidence mentor. You may see her all over social because she has quite the following, and she has quite a lot of energy. So gird thy loins and welcome, Sam.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm super stoked to be here.
Absolutely. I know. And with the rebrand and everything else, it's so exciting to have you here. And you're definitely a definition of a magnetic goddess for sure. So, to start
Thanks.
us off today, you're so welcome. To start us off today, why don't you tell us a little bit about how did you go about becoming a business and confidence mentor? It doesn't seem like something you'd pick out of a catalog, no?
For sure. Um, well, I mean, Spark Notes version, because we could be here for hours, right? But um, I grew up and I think like most people, you just do what you're told, right? You follow the path, you listen to the rules, and you do what's expected of you, and you overachieve, and you become a people pleaser somewhere in the mix, and all the other things, trying to get validation, right? And so going through middle school, high school, and then going to college, I went to undergrad and grad school for architecture. And um, I've always loved design. I just have such a thing for beauty and aesthetics, and it's one of my core values. And so went to school. It was a really intense experience, but really great because I did have so much energy, and it was really good for like the high achiever in me who wanted to like pour everything I had into this, major. But at the end of it, I what I realized is like I was being so validated on so many things external to me, but I wasn't happy. I was in like a very, very, very bad emotional state. I was coming home from work after I graduated college and I got a job as a designer. I was, working 40 to up to 80-hour weeks, living in Boston, basically living paycheck to paycheck, building somebody else's dream, and felt so disconnected from like life and myself. Like, and all I remember feeling is like, this can't be it. Like, there's no fucking way that this is it. Like, we're not supposed to just go through life like this. And I didn't know how I knew that. I just felt that intuitively. Like, there's got to be more. There's something more out there for me. So, enter me finding like the world of personal development and realizing like, wait, I don't have to work a 9 to 5 and be chained to my desk. And what? I could create freedom. And that was like really the thing that was like, I just want to travel and help people and live my best life and feel alive, Like at the time I just felt dead inside. I was burnt out, I was unfulfilled, and I was bored, honestly. Um and so in 2016 I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. And so I was like, I'm going to piece together a few design gigs. And basically what I did to get me from there to here was made it work without a plan. I forced it to work because it had to work. And so I got some freelance work. I fell in love with fitness as I was kind of like discovering who I was. I started getting really strong in the gym and I started losing a lot of weight. And started just like being healthy and taking care of my body, first of all. And as that happens, obviously you start to build more and more confidence. You start to have more and more clarity on what you want, what you don't want. And um, I was like, I found the online coaching industry and I was like, this is literally what I want to do. And so, yeah, in 2019 became a full-time entrepreneur. And ever since, um, here we are, and it's evolved over time from personal training to nutrition to empowerment and confidence, now business. And I now really support business owners specifically, coming back into their feminine magnetism, coming back into their confidence, coming back into their body, and creating a lot of fucking money, because when women are really tapped into their power, they can create a lot of wealth for them and their families. And yeah, so that's where we are.
That's amazing. And fun fact, my first big girl job was actually in Boston.
No way.
Yeah, I worked for Odyssey Cruises. I was the assistant wedding planner. So I was like the lackey of the wedding planner. Like I did all this shit she didn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so ironically, it was like what I thought I went. I went to Bridgewater State and I really wanted to do event management because that just sounded so glam. And I wanted to be a wedding planner. And I lasted one season. I
Mm,
don't think I got fired, but they were like, let's convert this to an internship.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like the idea of like watching other people just like have this big day over and over, it was like Groundhog Day, and I was not here for it. So just thought you'd like to know.
Yeah. I mean, alignment, man. It's kind of like when you're doing what you love that lights you up and gets you out of bed in the morning, like, which is what I do now and what I'm, teaching all my clients to do. It's like, you don't feel like you have to fucking wind down with like a
Right.
glass of wine at night because you don't need to wind down because you're actually like doing what you love. And, you have to have the proper systems and time management and all that in place. But like,
I
it's
have
like,
none of that.
like,
I have none of that. I am like the most avant-garde, like fly by the seat. I've tried it all. I've tried all those things. They just don't work for me. I'm like, you know what? No, it's energy. It's the vibe. It's the vibe. And like
yeah.
anytime I deviate from that, and I don't know about you, but like anytime I deviate from that, I feel like it just goes up in flames. And then I end up feeling bad that I didn't adhere to whatever system. But it's like, miss, ADHD, CPTSD slash anxiety slash all the things, like those methodologies just never worked for me. So bravo that they work for you, because I'm always in awe of all those people.
Well, yeah, I mean, I definitely was in that place where I was like, this doesn't work. But I think I've kind of realized, like, with what I want to build in the world and the
Mhm.
impact I want to have, like, I know that I have to have the planning and the strategy and the bigger vision, And so it's kind of forced me to rise above my diagnosis and just be like, okay, sure, my brain works in X way, but that's why I have a team. Like that's why I have a team to help me with the things that I'm not as great at, but still holding the like standards for myself of like, I'm the CEO of an almost 7-figure business. And so how do I show up? How do I lead myself? How do I make decisions? And so, yeah, it's just about, for me, it was just been like a choice of like, well, that's just what's going to have to happen in order for me to get to my personal next level.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And like I said, it's very personal. It's a very, unique calibration that has to happen, and everybody's different. And
Yeah.
so what's your human design?
I am a manifesting generator.
Okay, what numbers though? What profile?
5-1.
Okay, I'm a 5-2. So
Okay, cool.
I can totally see the 5-1 in you, the visionary for sure. And the Manny Gen, that explains, well, it doesn't explain, but it adds to this idea of the, the ADHD, the shiny object, the like, let's do this, let's start this, I am just a generator. I'm a pure generator, but I hate that word pure because it implies that there's some kind of like superiority to it, but it just means I'm not a Manny Gen. I don't know why they just don't say a regular generator, because that resonates with me more.
Yeah.
But
I've
yeah.
never heard pure generator. I've
Oh
just heard
yeah.
like generator.
Yeah, no. People are like, "Oh, I'm a pure gen." I'm like, no, there's mud in
Like
there somewhere.
I'm an angelic generator. What are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. No, I'm not a mud blood generator. I guess that's what you are, right? You're a, yeah, like in Harry Potter world, the Manny gen would be like the mud, like a little of this and a little of that, right?
Yeah, it's like the tapas bars. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So, okay, my question here is, and it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like a twofold question. So when you come into the coaching world as, a chicken nugget, I guess is what Melanie and Lair would say, like when you come in as like a baby and you look around and you see these people that there are to like, that are already doing things. And then you kind of like have your own, like, what would you say has shifted for you from like when you came in and you learned best practices or you saw them, like what shifted for you in terms of like what you do now that maybe is more in alignment with Sam's inner goddess than say whoever you were following at the beginning?
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting. I didn't even know business coaching was a thing while I was building my business. I didn't know the industry existed. I had no exposure to it. I was just surrounding myself. Like I said, I started in fitness and weight loss and health and all that. So all I knew was like that there was those types of coaches. I didn't know that there were other types of coaches. I didn't know that sex coaches existed. I didn't know that business coaches existed. I just didn't even know, right? So ignorance is bliss. So really, I got to the first six figures in my business without seeing business mentors and how they did business. So it was like purely me trusting myself, like me and my intuition and just taking action. And the first business mentor that I did work with was also a fitness coach, which was cool because he gave me a lot of strategies for how to show up and blah blah blah. But I think something that I will never forget, and I think this is honestly, I feel like this is a testament to what I have built and why a lot of people have a hard time building what they want to build, is he said something to me, and I feel like this has been my kind of North Star, like guiding light, I would say, is like, don't let your emotions dictate your actions in business. And really actually like feel your feelings, obviously, right? But don't let that stop you from showing up in your business, because your business is its own little entity, and it's going to start little, but it's going to get big. And it's really like for me, where I've seen the biggest leaps is like putting the structure on the back end in place so that I can be flowy and in my feminine and all of that. I can't be in that place without feeling safe and secure, because my business has the systems and the structures to support me. And I think a lot of new coaches are just like, I'm just going to do what I feel like doing, or like, I'm going to post when I feel like it. And they wonder why they don't have the business that they want. But it's like, okay, we have to also like bring in the healthy masculine. In order for you to be a magnetic goddess, you have to have the masculine in your life, in your business, in everything. Without that, you cannot be a magnetic goddess, because you will feel fucking blah in chaos without feeling the safety that the structure and the systems in your business provide. So I think for me, it's been this like reclaiming of the healthy masculine energy, not from burnout or force, and the healthy feminine energy, not from like attaching and identifying to all my feelings, but feeling them and processing them and moving through them, and kind of the dance of those two things together. And it's funny because I named my business like 6 years ago Balance with Sam, thinking that it was about like, yeah, like you can lift weights and you can take rest days. Like you can have a donut and you can eat vegetables. But actually, the true balance in having a wildly fulfilling and freedom filled business is the harmony of these two energies.
That is a very distinctive position that you took on that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So what do you feel like when it comes to your business? What do you feel? Well, let me ask you this first. What do you think is holding most women back from actualizing in their business, or putting all of themselves out there, in a way that's going to give them, like you said, the financial freedom or the flow? Or like, what do you think is, like, if you had to pinpoint the one thing that you see consistently with clients, what's that one thing look like?
Yeah. It's just fear, really. It's fear of what people think, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection. It's fear. The only thing that's holding anyone back from anything that they want is fear. Because in order to get that, we have to take action. And I'm all about manifestation, but like manifestation is not just, I'm going to be in this high vibe state and everything's going to magnetize towards me. It's like, yeah, no, like there's a whole other part. It's the yin and the yang, right? We have to take action too. So identifying like all the unconscious fears that are holding you back from doing the thing you need to do. Because most people do know what they need to do. They say that they don't know what to do, but they know exactly what they need to do. They're just scared to do it. And so it's about walking and learning how to work alongside of your fear. Every single time I make an investment in my business and all my clients make investments in their businesses through me, it's scary. That's good. If there's no fear, then that means there's no growth. So it's like rewriting your relationship to fear of like, if you want to have something that you've never had, you have to do something and be someone you've never been, which just requires you to be more and more brave and put yourself out there and bet on yourself and go all in. And I think that's really what I see is the women that succeed are the ones who are like, there's no other option for me. I'm going all fucking in. Let's go. I will figure it out. They're in. And it's like, the fear is going to be there at 6 figures, at 7 figures, at 8 figures. It doesn't matter how many figures you're making at 0 figures. You have to learn how to be with it and know that you can handle it.
So as a generator, a manifesting generator, but a type of generator, how do you balance this idea of response and like moving through life with, like in the moment, which is where, the sacral kind of lives, with the preparation and the masculine, and like how do you find that sweet spot between like responding to what's going on and also kind of like preparing all of the pieces down the road that you're going to I guess present, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, so I am not somebody who's like, oh, it's January 1st. I'm going to plan out my whole business like for the year, because I know like mid-January or February, I'm going to be like, now I'm changed my mind. Right. And so like, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. It's like, I would say like, I don't do much planning. I have ideas and execute on them quite quickly, or else they kind of lose their aliveness. It's just, I would say that I've set up my business in a way that actually does provide me freedom and the ability to be more in the flow, because everything on the back end is taken care of. So like, for example, like we have a membership, right? And within that membership, I teach a masterclass every month. So I know that every month I'm going to create something. I don't know every single topic from now to the end of the year, but I know the next one, and I know probably the one after that, but that's about it. Right. And it's like the path's revealed to me as I go, but I have the structure in place to be like, okay, well, I'm teaching a class every month, so I know that's happening. And so I'm always in that like, okay, what am I feeling intuitively that people need? Okay, cool. This is going to be the next class, right? And it's the same with like my mastermind, right? I have a mastermind for entrepreneurs who are growing and scaling their businesses, but also reclaiming their feminine energy, their sensuality, sexuality. Like it's a lot about sex, money, power, all these things, right? These dynamics. And so it's the same
sacral trifecta.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, okay, same thing goes for there. Like, okay, cool. We meet X amounts of times. And so I know this is going to be happening. And so it's like I'm reading the energy of what's going on with them and being like, okay, tonight we're going to do a review of all of your copy, and we're going to look at your copy, and we're going to really like go into the fucking weeds with it. Right. But like the next call might be something around diving more into sensuality or power or pleasure. I don't know. Right. So there's like I have the container, and then I get to have fun and flexibility within that, knowing that it's one general direction and like it's kind of all encompassing. So it lets me respond while having the support.
I'm sorry, I was still nodding and I'm like, oh, do I need to unmute? I love that. Yeah, absolutely. Like creating the container and then allowing the energetics of the moment to kind of take over. So I love that. You have so many yummy goodies to talk about here, about how folks can get a hold of you, in touch with you. So tell us a little bit about some of that stuff.
Yeah. So I just taught a free masterclass, which is really incredible if you are somebody who overthinks and lives in your head and just cares too much about what people think, or just cares too much generally. Like you're oh my God, living in your head. It's called Zero Fucks. And honestly, this class is fucking amazing. You definitely got to pop in there. It's free, of course. But I take you through some really powerful shifts that you can have in your life and your business. And we do some embodiment practices in there. So that's a really great place to get started. And yeah, I mean, that resource in itself is some of the stuff I wish I knew at the beginning of my like, what is feminine energy journey, when I was like burnt out and hustling and had no idea that like energy had to do with anything.
So many people don't. So many people have no clue about how prolific energy is. And like, honestly, I find like if I get laid, if I have like a really good meal, if I disconnect from social, that's when I make my most money. It has nothing to do with what email I sent. It has nothing to do with, I mean, not nothing. I'm sure it has something to do with, but I cannot stress enough. And I know you agree, like energy is so crucial and so many people just don't take it into consideration. So I think your class will be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we don't have to do as much as we think we do when we understand the
Right.
energy. Like when we're
Absolutely.
like, oh, if we're taking action from a place of should, or a place
Mhm.
of trying or force, or oh man, like I have to do this. It's like you don't realize it, but that's felt, you
Right.
know? And
Right. People don't
most
realize it.
yeah, and most people, um, especially in the online space, in coaching, in women that are really wanting to expand, a lot of us are very empathic. A lot of us got into this work because we had rough childhoods, you know, like because we had something that we overcame, and now we're here to like use our gifts to change people's lives. And so if you know that you're very sensitive to energy, then it's like up to you to make content that also is from that energy. It's up
Mhm.
to you to make, you know what I mean? Like there's this like pureness
Mhm.
to your energy that when you create from that place of you're not doing it because you have to, you're like doing it from pure desire. That's when it really lands for people, and it is
100%.
super
100%.
fucking magnetic.
Absolutely. And you've also got a podcast.
Yes. I started this podcast back in 2018. So it's pretty wild to see the evolution of it. It started, of course, in fitness. And so you'll scroll back and I was talking about counting calories, you know? Now I'm like, what are calories? Like, no. Um, but yeah, that is really where I share all about, you know, my experience of building a business, being in a relationship, healing a bunch of things in my own life, having really incredible some of my friends on, clients, you know, their success stories, and just a really cool place for everything that like women are interested in.
I love
Money,
that.
sex, relationships, business, like
So
all the
good. It's
juicy things.
everything. Oh my gosh. I love it. And then how about you have an Instagram as well?
Yeah, that's definitely the place where I love connecting with people. So yeah, please come say hi, DM me. Like I literally respond to my DMs and give you a nice little voice memo welcome. I'm definitely a people person, and so I really do treat my Instagram as like a little virtual home. And
Mhm.
it's just been a fun place to express myself.
I love that. And then you've got this fun little download. Is this related to Louise Hay's mirror work or is this something different?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So when I found Louise Hay and discovered mirror work, it like changed my life.
Yeah.
Um, and so I've made kind of my own version of it with my own experience. And this is specifically for entrepreneurs as well. I share some like mantras that I say to myself in the mirror, or just like what I tell myself. And it's really for like just this like bad bitch energy confidence of like, dude, my soulmate clients want to fucking pay me right now. Like, it's so easy. Like, my success is inevitable, whatever. Like, all these
I
things
love it.
that are just so important for our mindset and how we show up.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. So many delicious resources, so many ways to get in touch with you. It's a match made in heaven, y'all. So if Sam is your girl, if you resonate with her message, definitely check her out. Sam, thank you so much for coming on the show today. It has been such a slice of heaven, and I look forward to following you on social and hearing more about all the magical things that you're up to.
Oh, thank you, Amy. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to connect with your people, and I will see you on social.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye, guys.
And that will do it for another episode. Until next time, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you be at peace. Namaste.